category. So in last lecture we have seen the evolutionary process model like the spiral model, then prototype model, and last one that we have seen the concurrent process model, that is also seen. Then agenda of today's meeting we will see, that is the today also in brief we will discuss about the specialized process model, formalized process models. Okay, because from knowledge point of view you should know these process models also. In examination questions may not be asked on these two models. They will ask questions on linear, incremental and evolutionary models, which we have finished or completed till last lecture. So here onward, this is your responsibility. Visit Google class to submit your attendance sheet. Okay, so for after lecture 24-hour, that link will be open. After 24-hour, that link will be closed. If you see there, after that, if you are submitting your responses, those responses will not be, you can say, the considered or accepted. Even though responses accepted by mistake, those will not be considered, because while submitting your attendance, timestamp, that is a date, and timestamp means time when you are submitting that response, that is recorded in that sheet. So after that due time and due date, that response will not be considered. So be careful for that. You have 24-hour means 24-hour are enough for you, if you say that. Okay, then we'll see the RUP, rational unified process. Am I audible to all? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Okay, then we'll see the all 4 pages of RUP in detail. Then moving towards the specialized process models. Generally, from this category, there are 3 different models: component-based development, then formal methods model itself, and AOSD, aspect-oriented software development. So we'll see in brief what are the component-based development. We have already seen the similar kind of model, that is the RAD model, rapid application development model. So if you see there, that is from the you can say the incremental category. Then again we'll see in brief what is component based development. We are already aware of this, that is what is component based development, because many industries, if you see there, that is the small you can say the development firms. Okay, so many developers are working on the component based development. They are developing the components. Those will be used in different kind of applications, if you see there. So these components are pre-compiled, you can say the elements. Those are you need to assemble in your software application to provide the desired features and functionalities, if you see there. So commonly required functionalities generally you can say implemented while developing the component. So what is component based development? If you see there, available component based products are researched and evaluated for the application in problem statement. Problem statement means whatever project you are going to develop, that problem statement of that particular project means it will include the scope and objectives of that particular project. So accordingly, you have to make the analysis. If you see that which components are available, if not available, you need to develop those components, and those can be reused in similar kind of applications. Then next point, component integration issues are also concerned, because if you considering the component reuse in your application, so there might be the problem during the interfacing or integrating those components in current application. If you see that while conducting the integration testing, like the top down or bottom up integration, so you have to consider the interfacing and integration issues also, because after integration it will be working as per your requirement or not. Okay, data flow will be properly integrated or not. If you see there, control flow will occur properly or not. That kind of you can say the issues you need to consider there. So, and software architecture is designed to accommodate the components, because in your T you have one subject, software modeling and design. In that subject you will study different software architectural models, right? So according to your project, you have to, and size of project and the type of project, whether it is the desktop application, web application, or you can say that it is the Android application, or it is the real-time IoT based application. So depending on that, you have to select the appropriate software process model as well as the architectural model, if you see there. Or you can consider the architectural styles and patterns also there. So architectural models, maybe you can say client server model is there, object oriented architectural model is there for the object oriented development, where we are using the Java, then C++, like programming languages. Then you can consider the real-time software architecture also for real-time projects. Okay, for example, you can say the IoT based applications. If you see there, that is weather forecasting system, or you can say the forest fire protection system. These kind of applications you can implement. Then components are integrated into the architecture. So whatever architecture you are that is considering for your current project, that that will definitely you have to consider their number of components it will have, and how you are going to assemble those components in your current application or project. Then after that, once components are integrated, then you have to conduct the testing also there. That is, comprehensive testing is conducted to ensure that it will perform its functionality properly, if you see there. So these are the few consideration in component based development, and this is also called as the component based development model, if you see there. So maybe just see number of attendees. 97 students joined till now. Okay. Okay, so this is all about the component based development process model. Then similarly, next model is formal method model. If you see that, we'll see in brief, because these are just for knowledge point of view. Sometime question may be asked. If you see there, it depends on the examiner or paper question paper setter. So formal methods model, if you see there, in this model, all activities leads to formal mathematical specification of the software. So here everything, including the feasibility analysis of your project scope, if you see there, that is based on the mathematical, you can say the foundation or background. You have to represent it in the form of the mathematical expressions or the equations. Okay, so that you can do the in-depth analysis of the software requirements, or even you can consider the you can say the estimation model like the COCOMO model, that is having the particular equation and formula, having the different parameters. You have to fill up values of those parameters, and accordingly will get the estimation, time estimation, as well as the budget for the cost estimation of your product, if you see that. So what are the advantages of this kind of model? It avoids ambiguity in your project. Ambiguity might be regarding the requirements. Okay, if you see there. Then incompleteness, your project will not you will see as an incomplete project after delivery to the end user, because as you have done your analysis on the mathematical background, if you see that. So feasibility analysis you have done in depth in this case, if you see that. So it will not face problems like the incompleteness and inconsistency. The product will be the consistent one. You will not face inconsistency problem also there. Okay, so these are the you can say the different features you can avoid. Then different problems you can avoid there, and you can face problems also in this particular model. That is the it is time consuming and expensive model. That is for development purpose it will take more time if you see there, and for understand requirements on the mathematical uh, background or specification or feasibility analysis, it is definitely expensive as well as the time consuming if you see there, and no all peoples will do such type of analysis and will not prepare such mathematical uh, document that is specify the requirements of your project. So exhaustive training is required for the people, then only they can do such type of analysis, and this is not suitable for non-technical customers also, and this type of model is not suitable for the customers who cannot understand or their mathematical skill is weak. In those case they will not understand how we have represented that particular mathematical equation that is showing the your software specification. Okay, so this will be the some problems or drawbacks also there. Okay, so this is regarding the formal methods model. Earlier one can show the component based model, and this is the formal methods model. Then okay, these two additional models we have seen apart from the you can say linear, incremental, and the evolutionary process model. So today we'll see extra two models, that is the you can say component based model, and the just one we have seen the formal methods model. Okay, then next important topic, and questions will be there on this topic, and if you see your previous year or the question papers topic, that is the rational unified process. This question will be there either in same examination or in same examination. Definitely if question is asked in same examination, it may be for 5 to 6 marks, and in same examination it may be asked for 8 marks also, if you see there. Okay, 1 minute, I will just see. Time to time I need to see how many participants or attendees are there. So this is my request. You should be attendee during the lecture, and once you join you should not leave the session. Okay, otherwise we are keeping record from today onward. Those students are leaving or joining in between the session. Okay, because it is disturbing other students also. Okay, anyway, just to check our recording whether it is working or not. It is in progress. Okay, then RUP means rational unified process. If you see that this RUP process is developed by the, if you see there, by the rational consortium. If you see there one organization is there, they have developed this particular process, and this is useful for managing the object-oriented software projects. If you see there, especially this process is developed for managing the object-oriented software projects. If you see there, and if you see, it can be viewed as a software development framework, and which is extensible, and it having the features like the you can carry out iterative development. If you see there, so at every page you are developing your power product in the form of the mini projects. Means your project will be divided into multiple mini projects, and every page like the you can say inception, then elaboration, construction, and transition. If you see each page having the series of iterations, iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise, or more than that or less than that one also. It depends on the in how many sub project, or you can see the mini projects you have divided that particular page. You can see there, and output from the previous iteration will be the input to the next iteration in the same page, and output from the last iteration will be the input to the, you can see the first iteration of the next page. So this will be the, you can say the working mechanism of RUP. You see there. Then requirements are managed, if you see there, because if all requirements are not identified in iteration 1, those can be accommodated in iteration 2 in the same page, if you see there, or in iteration 3 if it is having the 3 number of iterations. Similarly, we are keeping in mind component based architectural vision in case of the RUP process, that is you are going to use at some you can say the stages of your software development process some components also, those can be reused. Then you can make the visual modeling of systems, and you can see the intermediate results also. Then quality management, you can keep the, you can say continuous quality management also. You can use the set of can say the test cases which are predefined, and accordingly you can do the continuous assessment of your software. Then change control management, so you can manage the customers changing requirement, okay, at appropriate stages of the software development process, that will be accommodated in this particular process. So these are the additional features, or you can say these are the extensible you can say the features of your software development process that is adopted in rational unified process. Additional features are also given, okay. So rational unified process, which information is available online. If you see there, you will get the online repository of process information, that is RUP, and description in HTML format also. So you can get the entire or complete or you can say the information about the RUP process, okay, on their online website. I will show you URL also in next incoming slide. And that information is available in the form of the HTML document also. And if you see there, different templates are available there. Templates like you can see the requisite pro template, which is useful for requirements tracking purpose. Whatever requirements you are collecting from the customer, okay, at different stages, okay, for tracking, and whether you have fulfilled all requirements or some requirements are yet pending, that kind of tracking will be done using this particular template, requisite pro. Then you can use the word template that is available for use cases. You are defining different use cases. If you say that use cases are nothing but, you might have seen use case diagram, UML use case diagram. Use case indicates the, you can say the particular action that is to be performed, if you see there. And the use case diagram showing the sequence of use cases, that is showing the you can say the step-by-step working, or step-by-step, that is the actions that is to be taken in your particular software, if you see that, and how the actors are interacting with those corresponding use cases. So that kind of diagram we will see in incoming unit, because currently we have not taken that is UML use case diagram, and you have that part in SMD, software modeling and design, in TE second semester also in detail. But in incoming topics like the, I think in unit number 3 or 4, I think there is design part, design engineering. That time we will see use case diagram also. Okay, then project templates for project management. Yeah, so there are different templates available like the Requisite Pro, then Word template for use cases, and for project manager also, or project you can say the team leader also, that template is available, using which he can understand that is the progress of his project. If you see that, okay, so that, and how much work have done and how much is remaining, so that you are going as per the schedule or lagging behind schedule, or you are ahead to the schedule. That kind of information will be maintained or managed using that template. Then it also having the online process manuals describe the key processes along which you can use the RUP. Okay, if you see that, so this kind of information is available online also. Okay, regarding RUP, these are the RUP features, additional features. Then moving towards the actual pages of the RUP, Rational Unified Process. So we'll see these pages in detail, but before that you should know the diagram, because this diagram is shown in the form of the spiral model. If you see that, that is if you see RUP having the four important pages, and fifth page is also considered their production, but actual pages are inception, elaboration, construction, transition, and the last one now considered production. If you see that, so if you see, inception comes in between communication and planning phase of your software development process, software development cycle, or you can consider the generic process framework activities. And then elaboration comes in between planning and modeling. Means it encompasses planning phase as well as the some part of the modeling phase. Then construction, that comes in coding and testing. That's why it encompasses entire construction phase. Transition phase comes in between construction and deployment. Okay, and production, that is after deployment. You are delivering your software to the end user. If you see that, so what happens in each page of the RUP, you will see in incoming slides. So you have to remember that is the RUP pages here. Sorry, it's creating problem. So if you have any issue or query, you can ask me in last 10 minutes. Again, this is the, you can show the diagram showing the RUP pages. So actual number of pages are 4, but additional one can include, that is the production page also. So 4 pages are shown here: inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. Yeah, at bottom, if you see there, each page having the series of iterations. Okay, so number of iterations will be in the form of the mini projects, if you see that, and whatever output will be that particular iteration produce, that will be nothing but the work product. If you see there, that might be the design work product. Okay, and that will be considered as an input for the next iteration. If you see, so in our diagram, inception page, this is also called as the preliminary iteration page. It may have the 1 or 2 page, if you see, and output of this page will be for the first iteration of the elaboration page, iteration 1, 2. So in our current diagram, there are 2 iterations, and that is the output from iteration 1 will be for the iteration 2 there. Okay, then output from iteration 2 will be considered as the first iteration of the construction phase, because construction phase in our current example having the 3 iteration: iteration 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, likewise. Again, construction means you have done implementation of your software, you have tested your software, then we will move towards the transition page. Transition page also having the more than 1 iteration again. That is, first version will be released as per the customer's feedback, then second iteration will be released, and so on. If you see that, this is the transition phase. So here you have to consider that is the core phases of RUP, that is inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. And core process workflows are also there. That is regarding business modeling, where it starts. Business modeling is as per the business analysis and requirements. Okay, we are going to implement your current project. If you see that. So similarly, requirements analysis and design. If you see there, where it starts, if you see business modeling starts in inception phase itself, and it is continue till construction. If you see requirement gathering and analysis, it also will start in inception and it will continue till the mid of transition. And analysis and design also, it will start after collecting the requirement. If you see, that's why it starts at the end of inception, and it will continue till the mid of construction phase. That is analysis model and design model. If you see there. Okay. Then implementation. Actual implementation starts from the second page. If you see there. Okay. And it will continue till the mid of transition. Okay. The testing, because many students having doubt in their mind. So testing also starts from the first page itself, begin from first page. Okay, it will continue till the transition. If you see the deployment will, that is after construction or testing, that is nothing but the it will start at the end of construction and will continue throughout the transition, because you are deploying your software in the form of the different you can say the increments or iterations. If you see that, so RUP is the iterative as well as the incremental process model. If you see there, then core supporting workflows are also shown at bottom: configuration and change management, because as per the changing customers requirements, you have to manage the different versions of your software. That kind of the configuration and change management, it will remain throughout. It begins in first phase itself and will remain till the end of transition phase. Then project management activities, that will be continued throughout the software project development. If I say that, because these are the important activities, like the to assess the, you can say the status of your project, how much development you have done and how much it is remaining. That is project control and tracking that will be done using such type of activities. Environment, that is the underlying hardware infrastructure, okay, on which you are developing your project. That kind of you can say the feature also you have to take into consideration, and it will if you see there uh, start in inception page, and after elaboration page you will not face any problem regarding the underlying hardwares or the underlying operating systems or the supporting hardwares. If you see there, okay, so this kind of core process workflows are shown in RUP. Say same diagram is shown somewhat differently, but this is from the one of the local author book, and this one is from our reference book, you can say. Okay, it will look like this. The number of pages are one additional page is there, production. Okay, and workflows are shown only which are commonly discussed: requirements, analysis, design, implementation, test, support, iterations. If you see that, you can draw I think previous diagram, that will be better. Okay, and those students are facing problem regarding previous diagram, we can draw this current diagram also, no problem. We will get marks in that case also. So #1, #2 indicates the iterations. You can see there. Okay, so each page having the more than one iteration or one iteration also. It depends on your logic, that is in how many mini projects. Means you are dividing your project into different mini projects. Okay, inception having the 2 mini projects. These are nothing but 2 iterations. Elaboration 3, construction 3 or 4, like transition 2, likewise. It depends on the size of your project also. So these points we have discussed, but you can just see this slide. RUP as an iterative and incremental development process, because you can recognize the reality of changing requirements. If you see there, and will adopt those changing requirements also in different iterations. Then it promote early risk mitigation, and by breaking down the system into mini project and focusing on the riskier elements first. You can see there. So risk might be related to the you can say requirements, changing requirements. It might be related to the different resources. Okay, that might be the human resources, or you can say software resources or hardware resources, whatever. So using the RUP, you can understand, and that is the type of risk that is you are going to face in future. You can identify it in advance, and you can fix that kind of risk if you see there. Okay, then it allows for software to evolve, not be produced in one huge effort. Yeah, you know, as software development using RUP is done in different iterations at each page, so there will be the evolution in each iteration. If you see there, enhancement will be done. If you see there, so it that is the evolve software product will be produced there. That will not be the only huge bulky software product if you see there. And it allows the system to actually run much sooner than with other processors. Yeah, because you are considering the iteration as a mini project. So you can check the status till that particular point of your software development stage, and you can check the or execute that particular you can say the product. You can see that. And it allows for the management of risk by exposing problems earlier on in the development process. This is just discussed, so you can identify the risk in your project in advance. Okay, and you can select those riskier element earlier, and fix that problem on time. You can see that. So these are the additional features you can have from the RUP. Then these pages we have already discussed, but uh, again slide wise their explanation is added here. Inception page, elaboration page, construction page, transition page, and additional we can consider production page. So what happens in inception page if you see there? So we already discussed about these all 4 to 5 pages, but in depth what kind of activities are performed in each page you can say. Inception page, it encompasses the communication and planning, a part of the planning page of your software development life cycle. So you are collecting the requirements as well as you are creating the planning, that is the schedule and estimation also in inception page. So it overriding goal is obtaining buy-in from all interested parties, means you are collecting the requirements. Okay, and initial requirements capture, that is because in future there may be the change in requirements, for additional requirements will be provided by the you can say customer or user. So those may be adapted in next iteration or in next page also. If you see cost benefit analysis, that is the budget or estimation, that kind of and what will be the uh, benefits or profit, that kind of analysis will be done in this page. Initial risk analysis, so you can identify and fix the initial risk of your project, or risk mitigation can be done in this page itself. Okay, then project scope definition. Yeah, so you have to define the scope of your project. If you see there, okay, complete scope should be there. For what purpose you are going to develop your project and what features it will provide to its customer. If you see there, that the kind of definition will be done. Then defining a candidate architecture. So initial architecture, you can decide here which kind of architecture you are going to follow, whether client server or object oriented or real time architecture. Okay, if you see that, so that kind of component based you can see the development architecture, that kind of architecture you can decide here. Then development of the disposal of prototypes, so you can in each page, uh, if you see there, you are following different iterations. So initial iteration will be just a prototype, if you see there. Okay, and this will be considered in next iteration, and enhancement will be done, and previous iteration prototype may be ignored, if you see that. And in inception phase, you are doing initial use case modeling also, but that is just 10 to 20% of your complete software project, that is having the number of use cases there. If you see that, so till 80% use case modeling will be done in elaboration page, if you see there. Then first pass at a domain model. Yes, you have to identify the domain model for your project also in this page, inception page. So domain you have already studied. Accordingly, you have to select the domain model. Domain means it might be you can say the IoT, data mining, artificial intelligence, robotics, likewise. Okay. The next page, elaboration. After the inception page, if you see there, in inception phase, use case analysis is just 10 to 20%. So 80% remaining use case analysis, okay, will be done in the elaboration page, if you see there. And apart from this one, you can consider the different scenario based elements or the diagrams, like the sequence diagram, collaboration diagram. Then you can see the flow oriented elements also there. You can consider data flow diagram, control flow diagrams. And apart from this, you can use the class diagram, activity diagram, component diagram, and state chart diagram or the state machine diagrams also, to understand the requirements of your project in a better way. These are the UML diagrams. Okay, and these are useful in order to understand the project requirements, project scope in a better way, if you see. Then in this same page, you can have glossary. That is nothing but using this, users and developers can speak common vocabulary. Means this might be the coding language of the you can say the development team. Okay, using which they can communicate with one another, common vocabulary. Then what these might be the technical keywords also. The domain model. What is domain model? You should know. This is nothing but to understand the problem, the system's requirement as they exist within the context of the problem domain. So domain we have just discussed. This might be the you can consider IoT domain, or it might be the network security, network privacy, whatever, or cyber security. Likewise, this kind of domains you can consider there. Then you can revise the risk assessment plan in this elaboration page, because elaboration page encompasses your planning as well as the modeling phase of your software development life cycle. So part of the planning page is encompassed in the inception page and remaining part in the elaboration page. So again, you can make the risk analysis plan, revised plan in elaboration page, and you can generate or create the architecture document also at the end of this elaboration page. So these are setup activities performed in elaboration page. Then moving towards the construction page, that is third page of the RUP. So actual software implementation will be done in this particular page, and again each page, like the inception, elaboration, construction page, having the series of iterations, if you see that. So in case of the construction page, you are having focus on implementation of the design. You are translating your design into actual source code here, if you see there. So cumulative increase in functionality will be there. That is number of features will be added. Okay, and in each iteration, okay, their number will goes on increasing. So functionality will be as per the changing requirements of the user or customer, and greater depth of implementation, that is stubs fleshed out. In this case, stubs means these are nothing but the, you can say the these are nothing but the raw or structure which may be removed after the actual implementation, if you see there. So greater depth of implementation will be carried out in construction phase. Then greater stability begins to appear. So customer will see or visualize your software, that is as a stable product at the end of this particular page, and implements all details, not only those of central architectural value. So here you are considering, that is all customers requirements, not a general requirements. That is you are satisfying our customers requirements, like the normal requirement, expected requirements. Okay, and from your side also you can add the excited requirements. Okay, from developer side also some requirements will be added. Those will provide the features in your software beyond the customer's expectation. That may be related to GUI related features, or the performance related features, or efficiency related features, if you see that. Then construction page, at the end of this page, analysis will continue, but design and coding predominate. But more emphasis will be on design part, and the implementation or coding part will be done here. And simultaneously, testing will also be conducted, if you see there. So inception, elaboration, construction. After construction, then transition page will start here. Again, transition page will have the different iterations as discussed earlier. Okay, the transition page consists of the transfer of system to the user component. Means your software product is ready here. So first iteration, okay, from the you can say the this transition page, that is already deployed or delivered to the end user. Okay, so a transition page includes the manufacturing, that is shipping, installation, then training, how to install that particular software, okay, to the different people. That kind of training will be provided. Then how to use that particular software, technical support and maintenance. That kind of you can say the work that is included in this particular page. And in transition page, development team begins to shrink because software is ready to use. Okay, so maintenance team will take over the we can say the development team here, and number of people in maintenance team will be less compared to the development team, so it will have the small in size, and control is moved to maintenance team. Yes, then alpha, beta, and final releases will be done. Alpha earlier will be you can say the beta testing, means beta version of software will be released, and after customers feedback we are releasing the final version, that is the alpha version. Then according to the customers requirements, software updates will be provided, and integration with existing systems. Okay, means your software should work, or project should work on a different kind of platform or systems. Like it should work on the legacy or older system also, or the current existing versions of the same system also. Okay, it may be related to the operating system, that is Windows operating system. Okay, it should work on the uh, Windows 8 as well as the Windows 10. Okay, likewise, this kind of integration or support you need to provide to the customer. So this is about the transition page. So it is 10:51. We have just finished here RVP, but this is the biggest topic if you see there, and question will be for 6 to 8 marks in NSEM examination. And in NSEM examination also, question will be asked either for 5 marks or the 6 marks. If you see there. So next topic is we'll see in brief PSP and TSP, personal software process and team software process, and more emphasis will be given on agile process. Examples of the agile process like the Scrum, XP. Then additional examples are ASD and DSD. These are the 4 agile processes, but in your syllabus you have Scrum and XP. We will see in detail. So it is timing. It's okay. We'll at least finish the personal. What is personal software process (PSP)? If you see that, uh, it is also having the 5 generic process framework activities, but there is modification in those activities. That is communication. That is encompassed in planning phase itself. That is requirement gathering, analysis, then scheduling, estimation. Everything will be done in planning phase itself. Then next phase will be the high level design. That is additional page, and high level design review. High level design will be done, and modification or additional feature in the design will be done in the high level design review page. Then once your design is finalized, you can start writing the source code, or you can implement the software, and after testing, that will be released to the end user. Okay, as per the customer's feedback and queries, you have to do the post-mortem of your software, and again you have to fix the that is the changes, or add the additional features that is suggested by the end user. If you see that, so if you see there in this particular process model PSP, it stresses the need for each software engineer to identify errors early and as important, and to understand the types of errors also. So it gives the stress to the individual software engineer to identify the, you can say, the errors in the current software. Okay, I mean, this is nothing but the post-mortem. Okay, he has to at which place in the source code, okay, it is having the errors or the bugs, that kind of searching that particular engineer, software engineer, has to do that. You can see them. So this is the PSP, personal software process, that is given in your syllabus. That's why I have taken. So it is already 10:54. So we'll stop here. Okay. So agile software process we'll see in next lecture. That is the XP and Scrum, including DSDM and ASD also. In brief, we'll see those two, but XP and Scrum we'll see in detail. So if you have any query from your side, you can ask. I'm here for next 10 minutes, 15 minutes also, no problem. If you have a query, I will extend our timing. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. If you have
Yes,
any
sir.
query,
Yes, sir.
I will just see how many students are there. Till now, 98 attendees there. Just check the recording. recording status is also going on, but I will stop recording. And because in last lecture I could not share a video because recording was done, but that is not saved in Microsoft Teams. If you see there, that's why I could not generate link. If you see there.